Hello, everyone, and it is Thursday, December 2nd, if you are watching this afterwards, and it is another Ubuntu Community Office Hours. I'm Monica Ahens Madden, and this, excitingly, will be the last week I have to do this solo. Our new community team member starts next week. I am exceedingly happy about that, and I cannot wait to introduce you to them on the stream. So we only have 2 more office hours and community spotlights after this because December 17th is our last day. So of the year. Canonical kind of winds things down for the holidays, and so we will only have 2 more Ubuntu on airs for the community team after this. So don't worry, we will be back ready to go the first full week of January, and we got some really exciting guests, and I will be very happy to announce them once we kind of know when they're going to be scheduled. So anyway, let's see. So it's a bit quiet in chat, which makes sense because I kind of was a little bit lax with the announcement this week. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go to Twitter and actually go ahead and repost that. Let's see. Da, da, da. I have a feeling. Oh God. Okay, that was really weird. I just inception myself on Twitter, but that was just that was strange. That was just really strange. Okay, so we're going to retweet this from the one where I don't have to see me talking like I was 30 seconds ago. All right. Oh, undo, retweet, quote tweet, and we're live. And we're live. And have tea. All right. Excellent. There we go. Hopefully, there we go. Diogo and Juan Carlos, hello. It's very nice to see you. Remember seeing some of you in our chat on Tuesday between Yannick and Ukaz from the Foundations team. So, which was a great talk because they are such unsung kind of heroes of the entire Ubuntu project. And I know that I met Ukaz first on the Ubuntu Flavors channel on IRC. And so, yeah, what they do is so important. And especially as someone who came from the Flavors first, it's like, yeah, they're the reasons that we can keep going. So, anyway, it is great to see you all. We have another earlier Ubuntu on air tomorrow. It's the combined November and December Indaba, and Heather Ellsworth, who is our awesome hostess of the desktop Indabas. Excuse me, is going to be joined by 3 people from the WSL team. So Danny is one of our resident, yes, WSL people. I am sure you cannot wait. So that is going to be it is an earlier stream though, because one of our people, he is even going to be on his day off, but he's coming in basically as a community member, which is that's really great. So that is going to start at it's 9:30 Eastern time. So if you're on the West Coast, it's going to be 6:30 for all of you on the West Coast of the United States. Sorry, but that will be 2:30 UK time, 3:30 p.m. Central European time. So we're going to be a little bit early, but don't worry, I'm going to bring an incredibly huge coffee. So I have tea. It's just super hot and I can't pick up my cup yet because it burns me because I didn't think this through. And it said it's my warthog's cup. Okay, it's a boar cup, but it looks like they're warthogs. So yeah, it's one of my unofficial Ubuntu merch mugs. So anyway, so we've had some exciting things going on. Um, if you all are on Discourse, let me actually. Oh, oh my gosh, Danny, you are great. So, going to post this here. I don't know who is keeping track on Virtual FOSDEM for 2022, but they just announced their developer rooms. And so I imagine the second week of December is when their call for stands went out. We are putting together an Ubuntu community stand. Diogo, thank you so much for getting that conversation started. I know there were some people on Twitter who also helped get that started, so thank you. And if you are interested in virtually working the booth or maybe even doing some community demos in the booth, I think that would be fantastic. Then please go ahead and join the conversation there on Discourse. And hopefully we can have a really strong showing virtually. And fingers freaking crossed, then in 2023, we can have a good in-person showing too. All right, I'm guessing the why do I use Ubuntu Mate? I'm a very new Linux user. I've only been using it for about three 3 years now. And so coming from kind of the Windows Mac experience, Mate was a very nice introduction. And also, I'd been hearing about it on the Ubuntu podcast for years. And so when my husband asked, what do you want me to help you put on your computer? Of course, I wanted to put Ubuntu Mate on it. And it turned out that I just really enjoyed it. And it's been my daily driver ever since. I use stock Ubuntu on my work laptop, but otherwise, I use Ubuntu Mate for everything else. So that's why. But I mean, all the flavors of Ubuntu are great, and this is the one that it really works well for me. And also, I'm just kind of super lazy, and installing another flavor would just be, yeah. It's a combination of I like it, and also I'm too lazy to change it. But speaking of other virtual events, I don't know who of you here was able to go to UbuCon Asia, which was a fantastic virtual event and hosted by our locals there. But they have just kind of finished all of their reports, and which you can read about in this post here. And especially if we're still doing the virtual things in the fall or in the summer, then they've kind of given a great guideline to how to do an UbuCon completely online. And so I think having ways to kind of keep that virtual structure in place so we make it easy to kind of host these things both during, pandemic times, but just when we maybe want to get together and we want things to be more hybrid. I think that that would be great. Oh, and yes, and advent of code. I I ate my chocolate yesterday and I didn't actually do the puzzle, but I totally introduced my husband to bash arrays and kind of we walked through the logic of it. So I helped. I kind of earned that chocolate today. I'm going to get caught up. But we have there's two leaderboards that we want to point out. So let me go to Twitter. I don't know what that's doing. Everything is just, let me open my other window here. So we've got two leaderboards, and the first is from so who here besides Big Pod is doing it? And also, if you're doing it, what language are you doing it in? I'm guessing Big Pod, you're doing it in C sharp, maybe, possibly. But first of all, we want to share. Here is the tweet. Oh, in Python, nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to do Python because my husband is good at Python, and so I can just ask him quickly. I've been picking it up here and there, but I've been kind of like a little Python magpie. So I think that it just makes sense. Oh, nice. That's cool that you've kind of been Ubuntu hopping. Ooh, that gives me an idea for some new content. So anyway, our most unofficial Discord server, the Ubuntu Hideout, which is run by some phenomenal volunteers who are mainly from the Ask Ubuntu side of the community. They are doing a leaderboard. They are an awesome group. They've got this Advent of Code channel where everything's hidden in threads. Chances are, whatever language you're doing Advent of Code is, and if you don't know what Advent of Code is, I had no clue. It is this 25-day puzzle that comes in two parts. You can do it pretty much. It's made to be done in whatever language you code in. And it's basically solving problems. And when you solve the first one, it gives you the second part of the puzzle. And so, this Juan Carlos has a great question here. That if you want to start learning to code, where can you start and which language? If there are people who have advice on where to go or what language to start in, then that would be great. This is something that for beginners might be a little bit overwhelming, but it's basically these mathematical puzzles that you use code to solve. The Ubuntu Hideout is having a prize for whoever is on the top of their leaderboard, which is awesome. We are sadly not having a prize yet. Who knows? I might think of one. But we do have a general Ubuntu community board, which BigPod is also on and is currently in second place. And see, I just didn't do it yesterday, so I can let all of you be on the top of the board. So, and there is that board there. And I'm hearing some good options, kind of putting this out there, that Python is actually, Python tends to be a popular option. And so, and it really does depend on what you want to do with it. And this is a comment here from Danny over on Twitch. And especially saying that if you're wanting to use it for server, web, and for desktop, then JavaScript is good. So I think really kind of thinking of what do you want to learn it for, and then kind of asking to see what the best resources are. And then this is a good point from Ubuntu podcast portrait a goal that if you want to be a programmer, then C is going to be a useful language. Whereas if you're wanting to go into data science, either Python or R. So it really depends on kind of what you want. So, we have a Big Pod has entered the chat with maybe he's going to do some C sharp or even some Rust. I admit I know nothing about Rust. So hopefully the person we will have on, yeah, I knew the C sharp reference is going to come up. Uh, oh wow. You just know that with C and C plus, S plus, they're extraordinarily powerful. There's a high learning curve, or there can be. So be sure that you've got people around you and who can kind of help you learn and point out good resources for you. Danny's also being Dart, or using Dart, which for Flutter is extraordinarily helpful. So yeah. And also, don't for my husband, who is now a junior software developer, and I'm super proud of him. He started out he started out in Bash scripting. From there, went to Python and is now moving on to other languages as he needs to for work. And so, Bash scripting can be a great place to kind of start. So, yeah. If you hop in our YouTube channel, there's some very interesting discussions happening on the relative merits of C plus plus. So, but before we start talking about, oh, and if there's anything else going on in the community that we should know about, please put it in the chat. Also, some of you, it has been great to see how many new Ubuntu members we've gotten this year. I see a few people who have become members this past year in the chat. Ah, husband, hello. So we have Big Pod here, who became a member, and Diogo, who I think became a member this year or the end of last year. 2020, it all kind of blends into each other. I became a member almost a year ago. I was in the first Thursday in December meeting along with Lena Castro, who is part of our Ubuntu Colombia community and does their podcast. They're on Twitter. Great group to follow. And so, yeah, so we've had a lot of people join. We have 2 people in the meeting this afternoon, which will be an hour after we finish. We've already got another person signed up for the third Wednesday in December. So it's really exciting to see how many members. But we hadn't been getting our membership certificates. This had been a thing. I got so many questions, and I kept on saying, I'm waiting on mine too. It's frustrating. I know. And poor Claire is the one who's doing this, and she is just doing everything at the company. I can tell you that much. But we finally started to get them out. And so I had to go to my old apartment because this got sent to me at my old address. So I have my official. Oh my God, that's bright. Yay! My official certificate of Ubuntu membership. Oh my gosh, that sticker is so shiny. So I am extremely happy. It's been great to hear a lot of people in the community who have become members have been getting theirs. So please feel free to post this. You should be very proud of this. If you haven't gotten yours, let us know. And we will be happy to find out what's happened. Sometimes it is hard, especially with travel things being now, because we have to wait till Mark can just sign a big stack of these and then they can later go out. So if you've become a member and you haven't gotten yours, talk to me. We'll see what happened. If you haven't become a member yet and you have 6 months of sustained contribution to Ubuntu, which also means all of Ubuntu's flavors, then you should definitely talk to us, talk to people who will probably assume that you have been an Ubuntu member this whole time and are shocked that you aren't already one, and go through the process. It is extremely rewarding. It recognizes you for all that you've done. And it also, if you want to run for community leadership or vote for community leadership, it gives you those rights. So, yes. Oh, so because there are some really great conversations happening on the Ubuntu Venezuela community and kind of how that they've spread and talking about diaspora communities, which that is a definite definite challenge. And it's great how kind of so many of our communities are connected across language lines, which is great. So contribution to Ubuntu. This can be so many different things. This, and actually, Danny, if you want to ping, oh, I'm going to post this because Danny is in our Twitch channel as of what qualifies as contribution. There are kind of the standard things that we tend to think of, like the things that get tracked on Launchpad. There are things that translation, there is testing, there is packaging, kind of all of those classic ways. But also we have things like making podcasts, things like doing install fest, things that anything that you are doing, things like being a moderator on Ask Ubuntu, things like being a team member or contributing to the Ubuntu remixes and flavors. So there are a lot of different ways that you can become an Ubuntu member. And two of the kind of main things is however you're contributing, that we want to see that you've been doing it pretty steadily for at least 6 months. And then we also want to be sure that you're going to stick to the code of conduct. Those, and which is, which I can post a link, but it comes down to basically be respectful towards others. And I would say this with a slightly stronger word, but this is the work stream. Don't be a jerk. So if you can do those things, oh my gosh. And I forgot another awesome bit of community news is that Danny has resurrected the Ubuntu accomplishments, which were from way before my time. So, and we could really use some help on finding out what accomplishments are still good and we should totally keep. And yeah, it's been 9 years. What are things that we just don't need to have? Like most times you've, I don't know, synced your iPod to Ubuntu. So I don't know. And so please go ahead and go on to the snapcraft.io/Ubuntu-accomplishments. And yes, and please give that a try. This was a great kind of easy way that contributions were just kind of it was all in one place, and it was a great way to recognize people, and it's nice to see some blast from the past. So Danny, thank you. That is awesome. And actually, let me go because I think we had a post on kind of what Danny needs in terms of feedback. So let me just go back there. It's so hard having to share the Twitter. Oh, here we go. I found it. Copy link to tweet. But yes, if you go to this tweet, it's got, well, an excellent GIF by whoever posted that. And it also has a link to what kind of feedback. So, yeah. And so it has been, so it's been, I think, I mean, despite the general crap state of the world in 2021, I think it's been a positive year overall for our community. And I am really hopeful in a community sense for the next year. And so one of those things to bring us to, and it was so nice to have all those like kind of news bits. Oh, one more news bit. Sorry. Because like I posted somewhere, it's like I don't have a train of thought. I have a Roomba of thought. And it just kind of goes, it hits one area and yeah, and then it just bounces off. All right. So this is another thing from our friends at the Ubuntu Hideout, our most official unofficial Discord server. And they are doing a folding at home project. So if you have kind of some spare computational power on your computer or your computers, because we all know we have more than one, this is a really excellent way. And we know that hopefully you all are getting time off from work and school. And so if you get the chance and want to be part of a group to help work on research for diseases, which still extraordinarily relevant, this would be a great thing to do. And they are a great group of people. And so go beyond their team and help boost their numbers. And it is fantastic. And so no matter what you're running this on, from your laptop or desktop, or if you happen to have a supercomputer lying around that you could just fire up, yes, yeah, that would be great. And so that is kind of that is pretty much it for the news from the community. So yeah, yeah, we did have yeah, we might have had a person who my husband just asked if someone on Team Aubergine leveraged a supercomputer to crunch super permutations once. And yes, we might have did. And we did beat several small countries in processing power, except for Iceland, because who knows what they were doing there. But yes, this was on the Ubuntu podcast Telegram group a couple of years back, and it was the funniest weekend that we ever spent doing nerd math. But this is even cooler, even more important. So yes, so especially if you've got a good GPU and you're not using it for cryptocurrency, put it to good use. Join their team. So now, for the part that I kind of asked you all, because definitely needs some help and feedback, is talking about an onboarding guide. And because when I tried to join the Ubuntu project, when I realized there was a world outside the Ubuntu podcast Telegram chats, it was really hard to get started. And so that, I think, is one of the reasons why I ended up with the flavors, because one of the people that I knew was on one of the flavor teams and knew that they needed help. And I know some of us have been really lucky to have those kind of friends and informal sort of mentors who can help us into the project. But we kind of need things that work for people who don't have that. what if you're completely new? And so this is one of the things that, especially for the 2204 cycle, that I've kind of made it like, okay, I want to help the community make a very useful, very kind of easy to find, easy to manage, easy to update onboarding guide that we can use to help the next group of Ubuntu contributors and community people get started. And so I know, so Ian, you talked about that new contributor guide. What about it made it helpful? And I should probably start something with with, with some notes here. I think that that would be good. Maybe even start a Miro. I found that giving out the Miro passport is kind of the most awful thing in the world because it just goes a little bit nuts. All right. Is everybody still there? Still there? Okay. So if you would like to, yeah, I think what I'm just going to do is maybe share this, put an email out, and then if people want to improve it, then I will put out a call for emails, because otherwise it just went a little bit nuts. So, all right. Oh, nope. Sorry about this, guys. It's kind of been a long week. Okay. Okay. Oh, so let me share. All right. A friendly person let me. Yeah. So share. Chrome tab. Okay. I think, let's see. Onboarding. I don't know what the link. Okay. So what I'm going to do to try to keep it from going too nuts like it did last time. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Okay. So you won't be able to directly change things on the board because we had a really difficult time with that. The last time was people who got into it and kind of tore everything apart. But here we go. So let me know if you are able to comment. So here it's asking us to define the problem. So what do you all see as the problem with onboarding? Like if we could put that in one sentence, what would it be? I think I'm going to collect the ideas. Friendly welcomes are a good start to onboarding. Let's see. Da-da-da. Okay, where do I learn how to get started and involved in activities? That aren't a replacement for onboarding. Know how to started with. Oh, I see the comments. Excellent. Yes. So people, please put comments there because StreamYard is kind of dumb and doesn't let me copy and paste. So, oh, and finally, my cup isn't so hot I'm going to burn my hands. See? It's warthogish. It's cute. All right. Oh, this is great. Let's see how I learned how to get started and involved in activities. All right. Oh, test comment. Perfect. Oh my gosh, this is brilliant. Oh my gosh, I love that. So, Ian, did you just get my little comment there? Okay. All right. Let's see. How can I learn and help others learn? All right. I'm going to put that as a comment too. To learn and help others learn. Okay. Excellent. And then there was something about, let's see. About kind of finding all my interests. And I think that I think that one of those is also possibly I don't know what my interests are. But that's a iffy one. Because I've heard people say that when you start to contribute, you have an idea of what your interests are. All right, got a comment. Oh, perfect. I don't have enough skills, experience to make changes to documentation or triage bugs. Oh my gosh, this is perfect. Oh my. Okay. Oh, comment. I guess not. Perhaps I missed it. Okay, so okay, so Mohammed, this is a program called Miro, and it's kind of like, when you go to the meetings and they have the whiteboard and you have sticky notes and everyone's kind of putting notes up and planning. So this is a way for us to do that and be in all kinds of different places. What we're doing, because we find if we give the Miro links out and let everyone edit them, is they can get out and then people can just kind of go and ruin what you've done, is we're letting people leave comments. And so when you leave a comment like about what's a problem that you've had or you think others have getting onboarded into the project, like what is something like, okay, I want to contribute to Ubuntu, but this is something that stops me from contributing in general or contributing in the way that I want. And so that's what we're trying to kind of find out. And then we'll kind of take this board, we will publish it kind of once we kind of work all those comment and all those comments in. And I don't know if we'll have time by the end of the year, but in January, definitely start turning what we do here into a new onboarding guide. If that makes sense. Oh, and I'm seeing all these comments here. Perfect. Need to put a little sticky note. And resolve. So, and if I resolve your comment, it means that I've posted it on the board. If I can, come on, click on the comment. I want to read it. What working groups exist? That is a good one. Because I think that it's a bit of kind of spill over from when everything was done primarily in IRC and the mailing list. And I might have this wrong, but it seems like I don't know if we ever made kind of a full or good transition from that. And it can be hard to find kind of where people are. And this was another comment that Diogo made. I'm going to pull that over here. Also resolve that. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Oh, I can send you the, yes, 1 second. Let me share. Copy board link. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that if you came into the chat, then it might have been a little bit late. And I don't have commenter access, I have editor access. So if anyone can kind of have a good kind of bit of advice in the YouTube chat on how to comment, that would be great. Oh, okay. And I think, Danny, I'm totally going to steal this post that you made, because that's I think a thing that blocks people, that you might not feel comfortable kind of implementing the thing, but you have an idea of how to make things better. I don't I have ideas for improvement, but don't have the technical skills to do it. But feel I don't. Because it turns out that it might be imposter syndrome, and it might be that you actually do have these skills, but your brain is just kind of saying that you don't, and it's awful because our brains, they are great, but they so often lie and say that no, we aren't good at things when we're perfectly good at them. Okay. So this, I think, advocacy. Yeah, easiest way to if you talk about Ubuntu with your friends and family. Yeah, though I think that my husband's getting maybe tired of me talking about Ubuntu. Just maybe. Tiny bit. Little bit. Waiting for the laugh when he hears us in his office one room over. Oh, new builds for the next LTS probably after the start of the year. And we will and we will certainly let people know, because I know both for stock and especially for the flavors, they can always use help testing ISOs. So we will let people know when those builds are out. Okay. Advocacy. Da-da. Oh, and new comment. Where can I get a enter? Oh my goodness, yes. So how many who here felt like they had a mentor who helped them into Ubuntu, who kind of got them into, it's like, okay, here's what you need to do to get started. Here's a great place to help out. Here's who you need to talk to. So I think we don't want to we don't want to eliminate that personal contact, because I think that's just a horrible thing. But we want to find ways that we can easily get that information to others who maybe don't have, like I had Bill from the Ubuntu Mate project, and he was great. But if I wouldn't have had that Bill, then I don't know if I would have gotten involved. So it's like, how do we kind of make this kind of not be a stand-in for mentoring, but at least help people get from that kind of lurking on the outside to actually getting in, if that makes sense. Oh, you landed on on shred to file an audio soundbug. Cool. Do you mind me asking, what was it that kept you contributing after you filed that bug? Kind of what kept you coming back? I think depending on the channel or the subreddit, that could be very good, or that would be interesting. So, though I have to say uh, Nathan Haynes, who is the moderator for the Ubuntu subreddit, is fantastic, and we are really grateful for him for keeping that a good place. And Yannick is talking about in Twitch how without Bill, I would have deleted the GitHub repos. No. Without Luke, I would have deleted the GitHub repos. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I think that we want, and so I think that this is along with onboarding, this is part of it, that we're not going to have, we have a big community, and we've got people who Mohammed, like you, come in just to fix a bug. And so how do we and so we have this huge group of people who could potentially contribute. And so we don't have enough mentors for all of them. But how do we kind of put that energy and enthusiasm and time that they're giving and make it useful for like the most number of people. I think that that's kind of a big thing. Yeah, and so I think that that also goes, let me hide that. And also let me go back because I don't see if there's been any more things. So, if we had to define the problem, we've got kind of all these great things down here. So if we had to define the problem in a sentence, kind of, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm doing a history class. Sorry about that. If we had to define the problem in one sentence, and so I'd like this in your comments, what would be the sentence that you would use? Like, the main problem is blah, blah, blah. Yep, that's important. That is really important. And no matter what we do, because here it's like, how do we get the information to people? But also, how do we always have that feeling of welcome and you're wanted and needed and your contributions are valuable and we're happy to have you here? That is important. Okay, so I'm gonna put, I think that Yannick made an attempt at a sentence. Problem with onboarding is the project is so big, it's hard to know where to start. Okay, there's one. Does anyone else have any others? Yeah, and it is entirely possible that we have multiple problems that are all kind of centered around this one issue. Okay, how can I become autonomous and being part of the Ubuntu community? All right, let me put that there. Let's get a new color of sticky note. Autonomous as part of the Ubuntu community. Okay, that's good. All right, I'm going back. Oh, yeah. Oh, Yannick! The presence of trolls in the Twitch chat is also a big problem. Agree. Can someone just ban the French guy? He's just such a troublemaker. So, awful. Okay, there are good people on the Ubuntu IRC channel. That is good to know. All right. And so I'm just going to kind of leave these as notes here. Formal mentorship can be found in different with helpful people on the IRC channel who help newcomers. Awesome. Oh, wait. Oh, dang it. There's someone who actually has the power to ban power to ban French guy. We usually just have bots who get tired of his nonsense and automatically kick him from every channel. So, all right. And yeah, so onboarding kind of short-term kindly guidance. Let me put that here too. of short-term kindly guidance. Okay, awesome. All right. Is there anything else? Oh, and I do want to put one more here. One part of the writer Ubuntu family. Okay. Okay, so we need a okay, and that is actually a good thing. So we do like right now it's kind of going into what does this page need to do? And then starting either I don't think we have a guest for next week, so we might actually keep this going for next week's Ubuntu on air and start, because at some point, yes, we need to gather research, but the most important thing to do with that research is actually turn it into things that will help people, especially since 2204, we always get a huge rush of people in with an LTS. So we really want something that will help them. And so, yeah, you're right. That's a huge problem is that we need so basically, what I would like to do, and we also want to talk to Reese because as a community member now, because he's got his shiny new job, he started working on some of these things. And so what we want to do is take what he's already done and then take our feedback and say, okay, here's the feedback that we have. Now, how do we use this and combine the practical information to make a landing page? And so, and have something that is a working draft that, yes, we're going to make it better, but we're not going to do kind of what I always did in academia in my personal life and let the perfect be the enemy of the done. I mean, it's never going to be perfect. Is it going to be as good as we can make it? Yes. And so the most important thing is to get something published and out there and that people in the community know to share with others and make it easy to find. And we will blog about it, all those kinds of things. So I would imagine that starting in January to start the actual work on the landing page and the site. So, uh, can somebody please ban? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Sorry for all the YouTube people who have to see that. All right. Remove. Hey, Danny, I am going to make sure to make you a mod. I need to. All right. Well, Danny, talk to me afterwards because it's weird. I don't think we can mod people kind of when the stream is going, but yeah. Oh, Okay, so kind of an onboarding is there that? Because, all right, perfect. So, and this is something like the Fedora project has, that you kind of ask questions and it says kind of like it's kind of like a choose your own adventure guide. It's like, I like this, I'm good at this, and they're like, all right, this would be a great team for you to get started. Here's their page, here's the contact. Here's kind of here's some of the projects that we're working on. And so that, and really we're thinking about that first level page. And then as we kind of help grow those teams, get them support, then it'll be up to kind of those individual areas to keep things updated. Yes, oh my gosh, you all in Twitch, the YouTubers are dealing with spam and the Twitch people are just being incredibly silly, probably because Yannick and my husband are in the Twitch channel. And just wait until we get a bot that bridges all the chat. So Yannick, I'm going to stick this in the, reverse the problem. Easy to get involved. Easy to get involved with Ask Ubuntu. And so we can find out, it's like, okay, it's like how, are there things that aren't Stack Overflow specific things? Oh, Ian's got some really good ideas. And Yannick, I'm going to put your thing in there too. And we're going to a little bit late, but it's okay. All right. Reverse problem. Have an onboarding. All right. Hi. This Vasily in the YouTube chat. We are actually almost just over. This is about talking about onboarding guides for for Ubuntu. How do we make them? How do we make them better? What do we want those on? What do we want those onboarding guides to do? What problems do we want them to fix? And we are just about over, but we've got really good energy on this. I would like to pick this up again next week. So I will make a discourse post, because I should have made a discourse post before the stream, so we can keep this conversation going. We'll put that link so you can add more comments to the Miro board, and then we'll come back to this next week. And so I did want to say, so for everybody who put in comments, thank you so much. And I just want to thank you for the feedback. And I know that this is going to be a bit of a process to get this feedback turned into a page, but we've got some, I need to hide that comment there. That we are going to, this isn't just going to be like gathering comments just to gather comments. It's gathering comments to make something that helps our community grow and kind of helps the people in it find out what they want to do. And so we're going to keep up with this next week at the same time. And the week after that, just keep your party hats on, because that is our last Ubuntu office hours of the year. So we'll probably do something a little festive, a little bit fun, a little bit laid back. I'm thinking an end of the year party. So kind of keep your ideas Owen, I've got some, but I of course would love to hear what other people have in mind. I'll tweet things on Discourse and we will get some feedback from people, but that'll be the 16th because that's the day before we go on break. And yes, this would be, this is actually a really good comment there. You plan to have more chats with other folks who are leading in other areas of the distro. Yes. And so, oh yeah, this is we have these every Thursday. And this is the office hours where we kind of set a problem and we work on it. We brainstorm, we come up with things. We also do have things that are like community spotlights where we interview somebody from the community, talk about what they're doing. And so the one next week will also be like this. But we'll go back to having some of those spotlights in January of next year. We've actually got somebody in the Linux gaming community who we're going to chat with. I'm very excited about that. And we're also going to have some Ubuntu authors, people who have written books about Ubuntu. And also, if you're interested in WSL, come to the Indaba tomorrow. It is at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 2:30 p.m. UTC. And then also, if on December, let me see if I can get this right, 16th, 15th, December 14th, Yannick and Andrea from the kernel team will be compiling a microkernel, which is really exciting. Or as Yannick has put, that Andrea will all be doing all the kernel work and Yannick will just be saying, wow. Oh, we have a link. Let me get at that for you. Oh, Lord, I hear my husband laughing and I don't know what has happened. All right, let me just find this. Upcoming Ubuntu on Air live streams. And yes, I still haven't changed it, but there is the link. And there you can find a link to upcoming sessions. Sadly, the telco stream, we are having to push back until after the first of the year because the telco people got super busy. So I will update that, but that has all of the information. And Gorian, I think you have a standing invite to all the WSL stuff. Just saying. All right. And so desktop Indaba tomorrow at a slightly earlier time. Next week, we will be back to brainstorming on the onboarding page. A week from next Tuesday, Andrea will be doing kernel stuff and Yannick will be saying, wow. I just said it again because it was that funny. And then 2 weeks from 2 weeks from today, we will have a Ubuntu on air community party. So I hope to have the schedule. Oh yes, and keep an eye out on that page because Podcast Ubuntu Portugal and the Portuguese Flutter community will have part 2 of their Flutter series. Excellent. Or something else that will be equally awesome. And likewise, if you've had a stream you think would be great content on Ubuntu on Ubuntu on Air, please email the community team at community@canonical.com, and we would be happy to talk with with you about having another community host. All right, so for those of you who stayed, and I'm glad we went a bit late, and for those of you who are watching afterwards, well, hopefully afterwards we have our great new page up and you're seeing how it got started. So anyway, take care, everyone. I hope to see a lot of you at the Indaba tomorrow, and and if you go to that page, it will give you links to all of the information. And as always, we stream on Twitch and on YouTube, and both places we're at Ubuntu on Air. Anyway, have a great weekend, everyone. See some of you tomorrow, and take care. Bye.